Hello, and welcome back to our channel. Today we'll be updating you on the events going on in the Urijayan. Starting with Chisaki of the Urijayan. As Chisaki approached the Urijayan, her heart was pounding with skepticism. She wasn't sure if she should go in, but the promise she made to Yuuna compelled her to take a step forward. Despite being unable to see Yuuna, they had found a way to communicate through paper and pens, and Chisaki treasured their connection. But as she pushed open the door, she was met with an unexpected sight. Oboro was straddling Kogarashi, revealing her apples for all to see. Chisaki gasped in shock, while Kogarashi insisted that he had not invited this unwanted attention. Oboro hastily got dressed, and Koyuzu emerged from another room, excited to see her dear Chisaki again. Soon, Yuuna and Sagiri joined the group, and Chisaki's stunning beauty left Sagiri utterly spellbound. But just as they were all getting acquainted, Kogarashi announced that he had to leave for a part-time job, leaving Chisaki to spend the night with the rest of the Urijayan members. Chisaki was introduced to the other residents, including her favorite manga artist, Nanko. When she asked to see Nanko's studio, Nanko kindly invited her to stay the night. Chisaki, being a skilled cook, offered to make dinner for everyone, and her delicious Italian dish won over even the pickiest eater, Yaya. As the night wore on, the girls retired to Yuuna's room, where Chisaki was able to feel the shape of Yuuna's body, and couldn't help but admire her impressive assets. But the real fun began when Koyuzu suggested they discuss their love interests, and Chisaki revealed that she had no experience in that department. Koyuzu, ever curious, wanted to know more about seducing men, but the girls reminded her that she was still just a kid. Nevertheless, Koyuzu was determined to master her transformation skills, and the night was full of surprises and laughter. She has been studying the girls around her and can now transform into a grown girl. But chill, girl, you can't hide your ears and tail. Maybe that's the only thing she can't hide for now. But the girl couldn't help her with the request since they hadn't done it themselves. She then told them she had been learning about acting toward men. Some included wearing some hot clothes. Her female prowess amazed her, and she did the last with them. This one is crazy. Chisaki and Yuuna wouldn't want to act out something like that, but Koyuzu was ready to take things far and wore hot clothes. She wants them to wear it for Kogarashi. At night, while they slept, things got a little crazy. Chisaki couldn't move her body freely. Someone or something was on her. She thought it was sleeping paralysis but felt something soft when she moved her hand. The touch was familiar. Then she remembered that it was Yuuna's marshmallows. Her sleeping position amazed her, but then a thought struck her mind. Is this how it happened with Kogarashi? Since they are roommates? The thoughts were wild. She managed to adjust Yuuna and put her to sleep. But then things were just about to get funky as Kogarashi walked in. He walked in tiredly. Chisaki tensed and hid under the bed cover, and Kogarashi didn't notice she was in the room. He walked over to change his clothes, but that was not much. He lay down on the bed. Oh, poor Chisaki, she has never slept in a boy's room before, not to talk of sleeping beside a boy. Things get weirder when he comes so close to her in his sleeping mood. Chisaki remembered that the first time they met was in this position. She started to see him differently from how she did the other day. She quickly snapped out of her thoughts and made to leave the bed, but, as I said, things were about to get funky. Yuuna grabbed her by the leg, thinking it was Kogarashi. Yuuna is taking things a bit far as she caresses Chisaki's marshmallow and her behind. Before she could move, Kogarashi, in his sleep state, grabbed her clothes, exposing the marshmallows completely. Chisaki prayed that Kogarashi shouldn't wake up. She fell on his face and tried to leave, but Kogarashi grabbed her by the pants. Koyuzu was slightly awake, and she couldn't help but have a feel of those balloons. Chisaki fell and landed behind Kogarashi's face. Kogarashi woke up at this moment, and when he saw her, he was shocked. He was staring at two exposed bodies. But Kogarashi isn't a pervert and covers Chisaki with the bed cover. Not long after, Oboro entered the room and tried to seduce Kogarashi again. But as usual, he rejected her. He stated that he wouldn't do the hanky-panky act with anyone if not someone he loves. Oboro leaves the room with hopes that one day Kogarashi will love her. The following day, Chisaki is set to leave. Koyuzu wants her to visit again, and she agrees. But before she goes, she writes on Yuuna's piece of paper. She told her to stop clinging to people while asleep, not to get Kogarashi in the mood someday. Things are about to change in the Urijayan. So, sit upright and enjoy. Can Yuuna resist crawling into Kogarashi's cozy futon? The answer is a resounding no. As the morning sun crept into the room, Yuuna was already snuggled up to Kogarashi, holding onto him for dear life. Despite her best efforts to remain still and quiet, she couldn't help but let out a little gasp when Kogarashi's hand brushed against her. Marshmallows? Startled, She let out a scream that sent poor Kogarashi tumbling into the nearby river. Of course, this wasn't the first time Yuuna had crawled into Kogarashi's bed, and it certainly wouldn't be the last. But she did apologize for the mishap, which was more than can be said for some people. Meanwhile, summer was in full swing, and Koyuzu was off to spend the night at Chisaki's place. Sagiri had her own plans, heading off to her village for some rest and relaxation. Who knows what adventures await them all in this sunny season. As the summer heat swept over the town, everyone was eager to get away for a while and bask in the sun, except for Kogarashi, Oboro, Nanko, and Yuuna. Kogarashi had nowhere to go, while Nanko was stuck with a manuscript she needed help with. But when Nanko promised to take them all to a fabulous place to enjoy the summer once they were done, they were all in. As they arrived at the beach, Nanko wasted no time in stripping down to almost nothing and downing her liquor. She regaled them with a romantic legend about a nearby cape, but Oboro was more focused on seducing Kogarashi, much to everyone's annoyance. Nanko then challenged Oboro to a naked girl competition, but Yuuna managed to stop her before things got out of hand. Nanko then asked Kogarashi to apply sunscreen lotion on her, and the feel of his hands on her bare back made her moan in pleasure. Oboro also wanted in on the action, but Kogarashi refused to rub lotion on her chest. But as they were having fun in the sun, Kogarashi saw a ghostly figure near the cape. Nanko explained that it was the girl from the legend, who had been waiting for her true love to come for her. Kogarashi and Yuuna decided to help reunite the lovers in the hope that it would send them both to heaven. The ghost girl, Ami, was grateful for their help but explained that she couldn't leave the spot where she was bound. They promised to do everything in their power to help her overcome her lingering regret and reunite her with her true love. They both went over to Yasuhisa. Unlike Ami, Yasuhisa is not a bound ghost. He is just feeling guilty. He blames himself for her death and is scared she will also blame him. Kogarashi tried to explain that they could become evil spirits if they stayed too long as a ghost on Earth. As he and Yuuna go back, Yuuna and Kogarashi agree that they will give the ghost lovers an encouraging push to reunite. So, they went back to Yasuhisa. They told him that they were going to forcefully ascend Ami to prevent her from becoming an evil spirit. Yasuhisa pleaded with them that he wanted to see Ami, but he was still scared to meet her. Yuuna and Kogarashi explained to Ami what they told Yasuhisa, and she felt a little bit sad that it wasn't still enough for him to come over and meet her. But it did work. Yasuhisa actually came over to her side. But he was still scared that Ami would be mad at him. When Ami saw him, she rushed over to him. Oh, she really did miss him. Maybe yes. She did miss him, but her way of expressing it was a little bit too wild for the cute ghost she was. Ami gave Yasuhisa a series of punches, but Yasuhisa knew how to calm his lover as they hugged each other. And heaven calls at this point. They both ascended and turned into stars. Yuuna was happy that their lingering regret was resolved. But what about her? When will her own lingering regrets be resolved? What is her lingering regret? Kogarashi wants to find out and asks her to tell him about herself before she becomes a ghost. It wasn't just Kogarashi that wanted to know about Yuuna. Oboro was asking Nanko about it at the beach house. In response to knowing about her pre-ghost life, Yuuna mentioned that she remembers nothing about her life. Her earliest memory was in the Urijayan when Miss Nakai found her. Even her name was given to her by the former proprietress of the inn. The reason for not remembering her life is as a cause of amnesia. Kogarashi believed her. But he wondered what kind of ghost she was, as all the ones he had come across were always focused on their lingering regrets. They were always anxious to tell him what it was. But Yuuna couldn't have a lingering regret. To her, she is happy enough. With all the friends she has, both spirit medium and normal humans. She is happy already, so what lingering regret could she have? Well, some priests didn't want to know about Yuuna's lingering regrets as they forcefully tried to ascend her. Kogarashi tries to reach her and stop the process, but she goes off to the sky. So this is the end of Yuuna? No, it's not. Yuuna can't be gone. Don't cry yet, dear. It is just a dream. Kogarashi is having a terrible nightmare. And this nightmare comes with a price as he grabs Yuuna's marshmallows. She gets tensed, and he finds himself in the river. She followed him and apologized. He splashed water on her face, and they were now laughing. They played like a couple, and he promised to protect her till she finally ascended to heaven. Now all the members of the inn are back from their summer break and are having an open-air bath. Kogarashi and Yuuna still had their love play when Kogarashi found himself in the middle of the ladies. When Yuuna tried apologizing, he said he now enjoys how their morning always begins. And they both looked forward been with each other every day. And at this point, I have to pack my load to prepare for the next one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the next one.